we're just gonna give you a glimpse of how we met. Uh, I don't know, baby. Okay, let me say my part and then you say your part, okay? So I was still in school and there was this show that wanted models. And you know my height, and I have always been very much into modeling. So I said, let me give this a trial. So yeah, I was called for an auditions, and when I went, I was surprised to hear that, hey, are you single? Would you, that time, I don't think at that time I was single, I don't think so. So they told me, if you find someone who's 60, would you be with them? And I was like, huh? What is going on here? Yeah, so I was like, funny, this was not a date, it was not a modeling show. Yeah, so we did that, we did the auditions, and then they told us, guys, on Thursdays we have live shows, so you can join. So I actually joined to see what is going on here. And then surprisingly, it was a dating show. So people were matching people. So yeah, I had to change outfits like 3 times. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Keisha, long distance lover certified, and we are back with another banger, episode 4 of Ping Me Later, and this time is DMs, trust, and time zones.
That's right. Hey, y'all, I'm Shaquille. Welcome back to PML. We got a really cool episode this time. We're going to do something a little different this time. Usually, we kind of just read off scripts. We write scripts for episodes, and we read them off, but it sounded like super robotic, and we wanted something a lot more organic and natural. We've been doing like a few things. We've been testing out just different stuff for our content, for our channel, to bring a more authentic experience about our long distance love journey. And the reason we want to do this is really because this is something that's so tied into our relationship, and we want to help others that are, either going through this already, and we want to kind of help other people build this community of protection, understanding, and some people who just know what you're going through, and for anyone who's curious about it, we want to kind of give you a more authentic idea of what it's like to be in a successful long distance relationship. We're in our 3rd year now, going on our 4th soon. So we just want to go ahead and share with y'all some love, especially in today's day and age with the craziness going on. We all need a lot more positivity and some healthy stuff. So my baby has got somewhere to go soon, so we just wanted to go ahead and knock this episode out. But we also wanted to congratulate my cakes, because she did her first ever interview for PML. Baby, tell us before we get into episode 4. Okay, like she said, episode 4 is DM's Time Zones and Trust. Before we get into that, baby, please quickly let us know, who did you interview with? What was the interview about? How are you feeling? And tell us about that experience, babe.
It was a good episode, and for the first time in the history of Ping Me Later, we hosted a guest for the first time, and we were in studio for the first time. So I'd say it was good, even though I did it without babe. We just did it with the guest, but that was a very good one. You should go and watch it after uploading it, and I hope everyone learns from our host's story. And in case you also have a story and you'd want us to host you and give a story about your long distance love, you can just reach out. So yeah, I won't give you all the tea here. I want you to go and watch that video. It was very good. You're going to learn like why men cheat. He said men cheat because it's sports. So I want you to go and see that and tell me is it true that men cheat for sports? Cheating is a new game. So yeah, and go and watch that episode and tell us what you think about it. And also, you can also reach out and give us your story. For today's episode, we are just going to dive into the challenges of long distance love, trust issues, and time zones issues. Me and babe, we have a difference of 8 hours. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because whenever I'm sleeping, he's awake. Whenever he's sleeping, I'm awake. So yeah, but I normally say you choose what you want. So I chose him. I chose my poison. So yeah, I'm cool with it. Yes.
Well, poison. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I understand the sentiment. Yeah, it does. It is very challenging because of the time zone difference. Um, right now we're going through what's called a daylight savings, I think. So it instead of it being a 7 hour time difference, now it's an 8 hour time difference, and that sucks because it carves off a whole other hour that we get to talk. Usually, my time. We're staying up from 5 to 6 to maybe even sometimes 7, talking almost 3 hours in her time or 2 hours in her time, which is taking her into like 12 a.m. But now it's taking her in 1 and 2 a.m. You know what I'm saying, which is significant. So, and then by the time I'm waking up at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. or something, my time is already 6 p.m. or 5 her time. So that time zone difference can be an extra challenge when it comes to long distance relationships. It's hard enough being that far away from each other, but now we got to deal with that significant time difference. But that's I think that's a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
What time do you sleep?
I usually maybe like 12 a.m. something like that. So
12 a.m.
Yeah, that's just because I got insomnia. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'd be hard for me to get to sleep. But
and I cannot remember the last time I slept even at 12 a.m. Yeah. I can't remember the last time I slept at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. That's long gone, because nowadays I think I go to sleep at around maybe 2, 3, because I'm talking with this man on the phone. So that's what the time zones can do for you.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we can go ahead and get into segment 1. So what we're going to do in this new way that we're doing things, we are going to talk a little bit when it comes to our scripts. We do have a little bit written down, so it's cool for us to, just to get the flavor of what we're talking about. But after we do that, we're going to just go into our own thoughts, our own personal thoughts about the specific topic. So segment 1 is the algorithm of attraction. So people these days are all on these apps, right? You got Tinder, you got Hinge, you got Bumble, Plenty of Fish, I think. I don't know if that one is still up, but these are like dating apps where people were supposedly trying to find people that they love, but it kind of turned into just having a bunch of encounters and stuff like that. All the DMs, like now, of course, there's like DMs with TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram and stuff like that, right? So I think I kind of ran over you.
I think another one that people sleep on is YouTube, because for us we met on YouTube.
Yeah, we met on YouTube. Exactly.
I've seen so many people meeting the significant others on maybe TikTok, Instagram, Tinder, Bumble. There's so many apps, but whenever I tell anyone that we met on YouTube and our love story started on YouTube, they're like, how? Yeah, it happens. So don't sleep on YouTube. You can subscribe. You can find your match here in the comment section. So yeah. I think.
Yeah. And but the extra challenge, though, even though there's a lot more ways to meet, is a lot of people are dealing with the challenge of like not having a strategy about it. So they just kind of put themselves out there and they're hoping that things go well. And they're just kind of asking, am I your type? Or can this actually work? There's not a lot of direction. You know what I'm saying? So people have to just come up with that direction on the fly. And that's where you get a lot of broken hearts. You get a lot of broken hearts, a lot of bitterness, stuff doesn't work out. And people just kind of, they kind of lash out, you know what I'm saying? And that lash out behavior becomes kind of what our host was talking about in the interview, you know what I'm saying? Where it was just like, all right, I'm just going to have fun with this. I'm going to make this a sport because I didn't get what I wanted and what I needed from this experience. Even though I put my heart out there, I need to go ahead, baby. The internet was working this time. The internet was working this time, right? We got this thing when she yawns, I got to yawn. And I swear to y'all, sometimes the internet is not working on my part. And she yawns and I don't yawn. Well, she doesn't see me yawn. I yawn every time, you know. So anyway. But yeah, so yeah, I think that explains a lot about the challenge of there's a lot more accessibility. There's a lot more options when it comes to finding people. There's a lot more places to find people. But then once you're able to find somebody, how do you have the conversation and how do you communicate properly to get down to, is this person trustworthy? Is this person serious? There's a lot of questions that you have to ask. And unfortunately, there's not a like a manual, you know, even for us, there's not a manual, even for us now in our third year and going beyond, we're still kind of feeling out the experience rather than we know every single aspect of what you needed to say and what you need to write down. We've talked about some things that you definitely want to, some red flags before in the past, that if you hear this, if a person starts talking about sending pictures and they're sexual pictures or something like that, immediately, obviously don't deal with this. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get something inappropriate, there's other places to go on the internet for that. Or not, maybe not inappropriate. If you're an adult, you know what I'm saying? They might be, if that's what you want, you just want sex, there's places to go. But if you want a relationship, though, there are red flags, obviously, that you need to look out for. And we've talked about those red flags. But my question would be to you, babe, what would did you look for in me when it came to understanding, saying, hey, we met in this way. So how do I know that this person is serious about all these things they're telling me?
I can say you were serious from day one. I think I was the one who was joking around, but you made your point clear. You were serious, and and the way you expressed yourself, the way you talked, sometimes cultures are different, and people take advantage of time zones, the time difference, and I can say I met someone who lives abroad and the time difference is 8 hours like ours. So communication becomes so difficult, but you never made it difficult. So I think your communication was perfect and you knew what you wanted. And that's what I was looking for in a man. I want a man who knows what he wants. And so that's how you won me. Yeah.
That's what we heard. All right. Cool. So how I knew my baby was serious was her online presence. One was a huge thing. The way when you see a person's online presence is a certain way, you have to expect that is who they are, right? If they're willing to show the entire world this is who they are, then you have to expect that that's who they are. And if you get into a relationship with that person and you want them to change, it's not necessarily evil or you're stupid for wanting them to change, but you have to expect that they might not want to. And if they don't want to, you have to have a conversation as to whether, that person has to change these things or the relationship isn't going to work. How much do they have to change them? If they're willing to compromise, you have to have those conversations. But babes, her online presence was respectful. It was cute, you know what I'm saying? And it was just well done, so she's a very mature, beautiful woman. She's young, what I'm saying, but she's mature for her age, so I was just like, okay, this is looking good. So that, first of all, who you show the world you are, that was very important to me. And then it was in her behavior. So in the way that she was respectful, the way that she listens and considers, understands. She's always been very empathetic. Even when we've had disagreements, she could, when I articulate myself, instead of saying, I don't care about that, or no, you're wrong, she would see it from my perspective and help me understand that she sees it from my perspective, even if she doesn't agree. It's not that she would change her mind and be a robot. That's not what I'm saying. It's that she would show me that empathetic response. And that is super important for knowing that you're dealing with somebody who's realistic and who's genuine in what they're saying and has integrity. So those, when I, and the first time you have something like that happen, you're like, is this real? Well, no, eventually, once you realize that's who this person is and they do it consistently every single day, because we communicate every single day. Once you see that, you're like, okay, I know who this person is. And I can say thoroughly that even though in the time before we had met, almost a year before we had met, where we were just talking to each other, I knew who she was. And then when I went and visited her for the first time, I was like, not only is she who she said she was, she's 100 and 200% who she said she was, So, that's my baby.
Yeah, so you're the man of my youth, so the man of my childhood. So you took me into your heart when I was still a child, my early, very, very early 20s. And so Thank you for that. So I don't know if we should talk about where we met because we have said this several times. Do you think we should say it?
Where we talk about where what?
Where we met.
Where we met? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think we have talked about this several times, and we have told you guys to don't sleep on YouTube. So we met on YouTube on a dating show. I don't know if this should be an episode or what, but yeah, we're just gonna give you a glimpse of how we met. Uh, I don't know, baby. Okay, let me say my part and then you say your part, okay?
Okay.
So I was still in school, and there was this show that wanted models, and you know my height, and I have always been very much into modeling. So I said, let me give this a trial. So yeah, I was called for an auditions, and when I went, I was surprised to hear that, hey, are you single? Would you, that time, I don't think if that one, at that time I was single, I don't think so. So they told me, if you find someone who's 60, would you be with them?
Yeah.
And I was like, huh? What is going on here?
60.
Yeah, so I was like, Connie, this was not a day, it was not a modeling show.
Mm.
Yeah, so we did that, we did the auditions, and then they told us, guys, on Thursdays we have live shows, so you can join. So I actually joined to see what is going on here. And then surprisingly, it was a dating show. So people were matching, they were matching people. So yeah, I had to change outfits like three
Mm.
times because they told us don't come here with a bonnet. And the time they're hosting this in Kenya, it's like 1 a.m. and your place it's I think in the evening.
Mhm.
So we're like 1 a.m. You shouldn't be in a suit. Come on, 1 a.m. You should be in sleeping gowns and
Right.
PJs. So yeah, they told us no, you cannot wear PJs. You have to wear you know, good clothes. Yes, I had to change clothes 3 times to join this show because I was joining, and then when I join, I see people are glowing, and I'm like, hey, what's
Mhm.
going on? So yeah, I joined, and I think you're the first person I talked to.
Mm.
Yeah, you said I think you talked to someone, and then you guys didn't go well, and then you said you wanted to talk to me, and then yeah, I accepted. Actually, it was late, and I think we matched because it was late and I needed to sleep, and I was like, okay, let me just match with this person and let me sleep.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. It was kind of like a super fate moment, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, let me just say, okay, it's a match so that I can sleep. And then Babe was like, can I talk to you? So we scheduled a Zoom meeting after the match. And then we talked and talked for a few minutes. And then you let me sleep until the next day. So the next day I was like, yeah, I'm not going beyond that. So yeah, you can give us a story.
Yeah, so it was my 30th birthday. And my mom, my older brother had been telling me for weeks that I should do a little bit more. It was just working. Like I would just work and that was it. Cause this was after my um, a year ago from this point in 2023, maybe 2 years, I had gotten divorced from my first wife. And I was just focused on work, and they were like, "Look, you're doing all these things, you're getting all this stuff done in your life, but you should also have fun." And for the longest time, I was like, "Oh, whatever." So when I turned 30, I vowed to myself, I was like, I'm gonna just try something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not try one of these dating show things? I don't expect anything out of it. And the dating show, the guy or the people who made it, I'd like watch their stuff a lot. So I was interested when they came up with this dating show. I was like, you know what, that's pretty cool. And it's continental African women. So I'm like, all right, I'm interested in that, of course. You know what I'm saying? So um, I decided that it was that on that certain day, it was like, and it was May 25th. It was Africa Day. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, this big like huge celebration. I didn't even know about that until that exact day. So I hopped on because it was that day. It was May 25th. And I've been, all these other things in my head been telling me, my family been telling me I should do this. So I did it. and I didn't expect anything out of it. The ladies were looking okay; they were, attractive ladies. But there was this one lady. There was this one lady named Keisha, and I was like, "What? What?" I was like, "Eh?" I was like,
Really?
"Eh?" And oh my god! And then I think her hair was done kind of like it was. She had her lines, her rows. You know what I'm saying? I think so, right? You had something. It was like braids or something. It was something similar
Yeah.
to what she has now. So I saw that beautiful face, that gorgeous dark brown skin, and those beautiful full cheeks and those lips, and my baby's cute little nose. And then she smiled, and I saw the cutest smile I had ever seen in life. She's always talking about, baby, my teeth are too small. My teeth. I've never seen cute teeth. A day in my life, I ain't never seen cute teeth. And when she smiled, I was like, oh my God, that's the cutest smile. So I hop on and I'm like, hey, I explain, I hop on and I get chosen, but I wanted to talk to Keisha and only Keisha. And then I didn't get her. Like the host chose somebody else. And so I had to play along. I didn't want to say to this lady that I was matched with, I ain't interested in you. You're okay, lady, but I ain't interested. So I didn't want to say that. So I just talked to this lady, and I had wrote down some things that I wanted to talk to Keisha about, really, at this point. But I just went through the motions with this one lady, and the host was like, "Okay, would y'all like to talk to each other?" And the lady was like, "Yes, I would like to keep talking." Like she picked me on. I was like. And so I just said, okay, that's it's cool. But before we moved on, the host was about to move. I was like, oh, just a second. Can I talk to Keisha? Right? So because I was specific, I'm telling you, when I saw that smile, I was like, yes, that one. That's what I want to talk to. So yeah, when we talked, and she gave me more of those cute smiles, and she just she melted my heart, man. Like, and for the longest, I honestly, at the time I was 30, I was thinking that I was going to have to wait till I was like 38 before I started actually being serious about relationships. So I really was not expecting to meet her at all, and then, 3 years later, here we are. So, or just about, what I'm saying? So yeah, that was our experience. I know it seems like super simple, and in that moment it was, it just
Yeah.
kind of, there's, and we're curious about that too. We're going to get back into our next segment and talking about the DMs, time zones, and trust. But I think it was cool that we did this little segue into, our personal history, because I think learning more about our unique experience and unique, the way we communicate and our unique love could likely help a lot of people understand different aspects of what they might be going through. When you're going through a long distance relationship, it takes a special spark connection. And we've talked about it, and even we're not really sure exactly how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? But when you have it, you have it. And both of you will know you have it, So, yeah. But, yeah.
Okay, let's jump into segment 2, trust issues and time zones troubles. So the biggest trouble in a long distance relationship is trust.
Yeah.
You cannot trust the other person 100%, okay, but you just have to give yourself benefit of doubt. And okay, nobody is perfect, and cultures are also different, but I guess you just have to talk to your significant other and listen to them. Just be twins and be there for each other, and make your imperfections perfect, and it will work in your favor. You will thank yourself later if it works. Well, if it doesn't, then maybe that was not meant for you. But if you get into one LDR, I think you should learn to give the other person benefit of doubt, and yeah, just let it happen the way it was planned.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to be willing to take the risk. You have to be willing to be vulnerable. Trust is hard when you're in the same city. Trust is hard when you're in the same house sometimes, depending on who you're dealing with. But when you add 8 hours between you, when you add delays in replies, you send a reply and you don't get an immediate, response back. There's another layer that you have to unlock of personal trust in yourself for choosing the correct partner, and trust in your partner for being who they told you they would be.
Mm.
And that is very difficult. That's stress. But like Babe said, that trust is built through mutual communication and interaction. And that's the only way that can be built. You can't, before I pass it back to you, Babe, one thing that I know that you cannot do, you cannot let the intrusive thoughts and the fear thoughts take over and start making decisions for you. A lot of times people will, you're not deciding to feel like, what is she doing with him? And is she alone with these other people? And what's she going to do? Those thoughts will come into you automatically because they're from fear. They're from a lack of trust in yourself. They're from a lack of trust that is misplaced in your partner, right? As in, like, that lack of trust is misplaced. Not that the trust itself is misplaced, but the lack of trust is misplaced. It's all from fear and from a very negative place. A lot of times it's internal negative things, like something you feel negatively about yourself and you're kind of projecting it outward. If you let those decisions, or if you let those feelings make decisions for you in your mind, you'll start concluding things as if they're real, but they haven't happened. So you just made up this fake world in your mind, and you're concluding things on that, and then behaving a certain way, but none of that stuff really happened. So you can cause a lot of damage that way if you let those intrusive thoughts take over. Back to you, babe.
Yeah, so another thing is you have to understand the time zones, because sometimes maybe like us, sometimes maybe you might be sleeping and sometimes I'm in town running some errands. So if you've ever found yourself asking yourself or asking your significant other, why were you online and you didn't reply to my text, or you haven't texted me and all that, just know you're not alone. So many people go through that, and it's very, very normal. And for you who doesn't text back, I think it's good for you to normalize communicating with your partner, because communication is actually the biggest step or the biggest thing in long distance relationship. Just let your partner know, I'm doing this and this. Sometimes I get it wrong, babe. Sometimes I just go out without texting you and come back and text you later, which is a bad thing, but I'm learning slowly by slowly. Yeah, I think before stepping out, you should text your partner, whether they're asleep or doing what. You should tell them, hey, I'll be stepping out and I might be late outside. So your partner won't be worried. Yeah, so it's a very big thing in long distance relationship, and yeah, you should normalize that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that that might end up being a dilemma when you see both them ticks, them blue ticks in WhatsApp, but it's like, okay, she saw it, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna say anything back or something like that? That's always a concern for me. I know when I see a notification from her, if I work from home, so if I'm on work and I see a notification from her, but I'm in like a call or something like that, a meeting, I don't respond to the notification immediately, only because I know if she sees that I respond, I feel compelled to immediately respond to her request, her question, even if it's a hello or something, how you doing? So it's important that you don't put your partner in that kind of position. You're always thinking to yourself, if I'm about to start driving somewhere, if I'm about to go somewhere and I know I'm going to be driving for a while, I need to check in, because I know eventually she's going to ask me how am I doing. You know what I'm saying? It's important, if we're talking from a male to female dynamic, as a man, you want to make sure that you're protecting the woman that you love, and that these women that or your family that you're responsible for, right? So there's an aspect of that where you want to hear about where she is, so that okay, babe is here. It generally might take her this long to get from where she needs to go, her destination, and then come back home or something like that. That helps to keep your partner's mind at ease, so that they know that you're safe, they know that you're taken care of. I want her to be able to. I tell her all the time, it sucks so much that I can't be with her more as much as I want to. But also, I know that she's a grown woman. I want her to not just be cooped up in the house. I want her to go experience things. Like she got an event tonight, you know what I'm saying? But I want you to go, but I want to know where you are. You know what I'm saying? I want to know that you're safe. I want to know that you're having fun and you're going to get home safe. You know what I'm saying? So as a man, that's very important for you to be able to keep up with your family and how they're doing. But it's also important as a partner for me to say, if I'm going to be, if something changes at work and now I got to do an overnight shift or something like that, babe, my sleeping schedule is going to be different. You know what I'm saying? Expect that I'm going to be sleeping different because now I got to work overnight or something like that. So that communication is absolutely important. When you're dealing with long distance love, there is over communicating, but you have to learn to communicate at a higher clip than you would with somebody who you're going to be, staring at on the couch right next to you. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, later that night. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you should normalize setting expectations. Like, do you need to talk at this time of the day or at night? Do you need to text a significant other at night and in the morning, and then the whole day you just do your things? Or do you want to talk to your significant other the entire day, which is clingy and young? And also you have to understand that the other person is working or they're doing something, so they might not have all the time in the world to, to talk. You must understand that. So yeah, you should set your expectations right. Yeah, but you should do daily check-ins though, daily, because this is your partner, so he should be your best friend. Yeah, you cannot go a day without talking to your person.
Exactly. I mean, if I go a few hours without hearing from babe, I start feeling sick. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you definitely got to keep the math when it comes to that. You need to make sure that when she's tired, you're not constantly shooting, messages over there like, "Hey, wake up, let me talk to you because I'm still awake." Be respectful. You know what I'm saying? That's a very easy way to lose a relationship by constantly annoying somebody, right? Personally, I use an app called Time Buddy, but any timekeeping app that can allow you to like mix and match the time zones and track them next to each other, that's definitely going to be a personal help. So I would say you definitely need to get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't use Time Buddy. I just use the world clock to see the time difference with the babe in Nairobi and where he is. So yeah, true love includes Google calendars. So yeah, you gotta have that. So
Yeah, I think that we can get into segment 3, right?
Okay.
Cool. Segment 3 is. Oh, we didn't even say segment 2. We didn't. Yeah, we can just get into segment 3. Go ahead, babe.
Okay, segment 3 is social media shenanigans.
Yeah, the understatement of the year. So social media can be a gift and a curse, right? It can connect you. It can bring people together. You can create communities. You can create business. There's a ton of stuff that you can do, but it can also drive you insane. What is it called? Moo baby? It can drive you a moo.
Moo is in a good way, like
moo in a good way. Okay. What's crazy in a bad way in Kiswahili?
I can't think right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but yeah, what do you feel about that?
Okay, social media shenanigans. Just imagine you're laying on your bed at night, it's 3 a.m. and then you see a notification, or you are going through IG and then you see your partner has liked another person's, Insta story, or not story, but post. And you're like, hey, at this time of the night, Connie, what are you doing? Like, maybe babe has liked another lady's booty, or their body. I'd be like, why don't you tell me this is what you want? So yeah, those are some of the things that would make you feel very bad, and you might not even go to sleep. You would have so many thoughts. Maybe this person is not talking to you, but you're seeing him, he's active on Instagram and liking other people's posts. You're like, hey, dude, are we going to do this? Yeah. So how would you deal with that? I would collapse.
Baby, oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. So if she, imagine if it's this is why we say all the time that communication is so important, that daily communication, is so important, because if you're not getting that response that you want, but you see on social media, this person's liking, she's going around liking all these dudes' pictures, or he's going around liking all this lady's pictures, but they ain't responding back to you. They got a direct connection to you, but they're not responding back to you. You can easily overreact, but if you let's take a step back and let's breathe, right? Let's do some introspection. First thing, don't assume the worst, right? Don't assume.
Eh,
We was just talking about we was just talking about
eh,
not letting them intrusive thoughts get in there. Oh,
no, there's nothing like intrusive thought. If I see you liking a lady's booty on Instagram, you want me
oh,
to just keep quiet and then talk about it in the morning? I can't even go to sleep.
eh,
I'd be like, what does this man? What is he looking for? You know,
I
if
was
he
not
must
thinking about booty
start
pics.
overthinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's you shouldn't be liking booty pics. If you're, you know what? Strange enough, some people in some relationships they don't mind for some reason. They're like okay with that. But yeah, right. If your partner has a problem with that, you lose. You have to give up that liking booty pics behavior so that your significant other can be comfortable. All
I
right,
don't
don't be
think it's actually respectful.
right.
Like, why would you do that? I don't think there's any lady who's okay with their men liking other ladies' booties. Mm-mm. It's disrespect actually,
Yeah,
because the man would not want to see me liking maybe another man's six packs and the chest out,
right.
you'd feel bad about that. So I think men should think twice before they do things. Yeah, so next, baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, on that, to clarify real quick, what I was talking about was just like if a lady has a nice outfit or something like that. I wasn't talking about anything inappropriate, but you did bring up the booty pics. You shouldn't be doing it. Obviously, don't do that. Don't antagonize your partner. Remember, when you're dealing with long distance, you're already dealing with a ton of other challenges. Do not antagonize your partner by doing obviously stupid things on the internet.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, keep the social media shenanigans to a zero if you can help it. You need to, and that includes not just liking pics, but sending DMs to people, communicating sexually or something like that, because that easily could be something that gets back to your partner. You need to have openly communicated about anything you're intending to do. And if you get any DMs from somebody else, your partner needs to know about it. All right. Your partner needs it. They might not need to see it, but you need to be like, hey, this person's been contacting me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't said nothing back, but if y'all want to have a good laugh, a good chuckle, you know what I'm saying? If somebody sending some shooting their shot or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I can laugh about it a little bit. But yeah,
Just
you
so,
gotta what, babe?
just so they know, whenever you all text him, I see.
Ain't nobody texting me. They texting you. What you talking about, baby?
But wait, I
You're the beauty
normally
of
tell
PML.
you. I normally tell you, and you normally tell me,
Yeah,
right? So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
of course. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of PML. This is the beast. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely. Y'all stay with my lady. All right, cool. So yeah, I
Okay.
think we can get into segment 4. We coming up on it. Virtual
Okay.
relationships and real life checkpoints. All right, let's switch gears real quick. How do you build trust and connection when the distance is your reality? How you do that, babe?
Rituals.
Mm-hmm.
We normally do our rituals when baby is here. So yeah, you can set time to check in, flirt, and affirm each other. You can do daily voice notes, Friday night Netflix. You can go party, prayers together if that's your vibe. For us, we do a lot of things together. The distance is still there, but we try as much as we can to make it non-existent. I mean, so yeah, we do a lot of things. Like just right now, we were from playing rock paper scissors shoot, and we watch our movies together.
Mm-hmm.
We can cook together. We can we do a lot of things together. So yeah, that's how we make the distance look non-existent, and that's how we keep in touch and keep the love hot.
Exactly. Listen, you gotta make it consistent, okay? Even if it's small. In fact, especially if it's small, right? Those
Mhm.
small gestures are so important. Like, for instance, like the human body is not just one big block of bone and meat and whatever. It's a bunch of pieces, millions of pieces, right? Talking about all the way down to cells. It's a bunch of these pieces that come together to make the whole, right? And that's how you need to look at your relationship and embrace that fact in your relationship. We do so many rituals that we don't even think of as rituals sometimes, baby.
Mm.
um, We do so many rituals we don't even realize are rituals. I told you, look, the internet is working perfectly. The internet works working perfectly, right? So look, even that is a ritual that we do, right? Communicating with each other every time we wake up consistently at the same time, communicating throughout the day. If I go a few hours and I'm on work and they're, shooting, blowing up my phone at work, I will take a second away from that to check in. Babe, how you doing? How's your day going? We have family meetings. And, sometimes we don't stay exactly consistent with our family meetings, but we make sure we come back. And during those family meetings, we actually have an affirmation statement. We have a closing statement. We talk about the things that we're focused on as a family. We talk about our personal growth. So, we have these regular parts of who we are that we build in every single day, every single week, every single month. We're constantly reaffirming our connection. Okay, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about rituals. You have to have those little tiny pieces of unique relationship. What would it be? Like I want to say ephemera, but I don't. The definition of that term escapes me at this time. You have to have these aspects, these pieces, these nodes almost. That you do in your unique relationship that are connecting tissue between the muscles, right? It's the sinew between the muscles of your relationship. If we want to keep our body analogy going. Mm-hmm. So you need to make sure that stuff is there because it will strengthen the bond between you. And it, like we said, it removes that distance to where sometimes you'll go days and not even realize it. You know what I'm saying? Like you won't even notice, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, this is our norm. This is who we are, It's still going to hit you. The distance is going to hit you. It just is what it is when it comes to long distance relationship. But when that when you're doing the right thing, when you go days and you're just both y'all chuckling, laughing, cackling, you know what I'm saying, and going to sleep fine, and then waking up the next day, you just realize, say, oh my goodness, my baby's all the way across the world. So. Yeah.
And also don't forget real life checkpoints. You should be asking each other who's visiting this time, how are we planning to meet and all that. And you should also, what should I call it? You sync your travel documents and all that. Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Yeah. Love without action is just playlist and pixels and resolution and everybody playing around. You know what I'm saying? You really need movement. Even if it's slow movement, even if it's low movement, right? But you need to make it clear through your actions that this is real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's my best friend. So yes, keep it spicy. A little emoji, a little wink, a little late night ping me later moment. Mm-hmm. Keep the fire burning across the bandwidth, and it will keep your love stronger.
Like
you can imagine, I have my best friend, my partner. How many miles away, baby? Thousands.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talk every day. The love is hotter. It gets hotter and hotter and hotter every day. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you cannot say otherwise.
Yeah. And then there's the ultimate, before we move into segment 5, our last segment, there's the ultimate carrot on the stick that this distance is not going to be here forever. We're working on PML and various other projects right now so that this distance is going to be gone one day. So it's strange that I just thought about this, but the goal in every long distance relationship should be that the long distance relationship will end and it will eventually be just a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So always keep in mind that you're working toward the goal of ending that distance, and that's going to be something that brings y'all together as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting into segment 5, our final segment. When you swipe left and let go, right? When to swipe left and let go. Okay. So not every connection is forever, and that's okay. If you find yourself doubting all the time, you're not receiving affirmation, you're constantly anxious, and your partner is not giving you, for their part, they're not giving you reaffirmation that I'm here, I'm listening. Listen, even when they are doing that, because emotions are so strong, you might not even notice it. Sometimes that happens. I know that it's like, what? Yeah. Sometimes the person can be actually reaffirming to you every single day, doing all these things to the point where they can rattle it off in a list, what they're doing. And because of the strength of of the emotional weight that comes with just regular relationships, but especially with a long distance relationship, you might be in such a mood where you can't see that.
Mhm.
So imagine a moment where you can see that they ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? That they're not being that person that you need them to be, that they're not being, they're not reaffirming you. They're not making it clear that they're here for you. They're not constantly every single day reminding you, I'm here and I love you. We're doing our rituals every single day. And at this distance, we'll be dead. Well, I don't know if I want to say dead. Let's watch what we say. They try to shadow ban our stuff sometimes. We already been getting hit with shadow ban. The dead will be, I mean, oops.
This
Don't cut that out.
will be good.
The distance, right. The distance will end, right? We will end the distance, right? So yeah, just keep in mind that when you're not even seeing the bare minimum of what you expect needs to happen, it might be time to let it go.
Yeah. And sometimes maybe people might tell you this is a scammer, or maybe they might tell you some stories, or maybe you might think they are scammers. Well, they might not be scammers, but it might just be a sign of you to let go or something. It might be a sign that this is not your person and you should let go. You deserve peace, not paranoia. And long distance love is a special kind of love. Just like my babe always say, it's for the chosen few. You might be among them, but you have to understand that people are different, and what works for you will work for you. So yeah, so you might be among the chosen few for those distance lovers, and I'm sure it's a special type of love, because this is something that you have to trust someone who's thousands of miles away, without even seeing them every day, without knowing what they do every day. You just choose to wake up and trust them. So it has a special kind of connection. Yeah. Like babe always say, baby, you can tell them what you normally say about LDR.
Yeah. Well, what I normally say is that at least about our relationship is that it truly feels like we are. Babe is the one who helped me to understand what soulmates really means, and it truly feels like we're each other's reflection. You know, like we're two sides of the same coin. Like we're two of the same body. Well, we're the same person in two different bodies, sort of thing. You know, when you have that kind of connection, that's when I believe an LDR relationship or an LDR is truly strong, right? And you're going to need that level of connection. It's rare, like she said, it's the chosen few. But when you find it, when you feel that you find it, and that really is the basis of it, it has to be a feeling between the two of you. I know a lot of people might not want to hear that, because it's like, well, how do I know I can trust my feelings? You'll feel when you can trust your feelings. That's not helpful, you know what I'm saying? But it really is. It's strange, because we're telling you the truth of the matter, but if you haven't felt it, it's hard for you to understand that we're telling you the truth of the matter, you know? So you really will feel it. Both of you will feel it, and you'll show it in your actions. That's how you know, right? But yeah, ask yourself always, are we growing? Are we both attentive? Are we aligned on the things that we're going through? Do we communicate consistently every day? Are we apologizing when we do something wrong, or when our partner perceives something incorrectly? Are we apologizing when we don't want to, right? We don't want to personally apologize. We're still a little bit, pissed off, but we know that, hey, I might have done something that made you upset. So even if I'm emotionally one way, I still want to make it clear between us. I want to make sure that we're good. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you ask yourself that and the answer is no, then I guess it's time to uninstall, unpin, and just go. You will find it again. Yeah.
Definitely. You have to keep that in mind. Yeah, you will. I know, to a lot of people, a lot of broken hearts out there, we're coming up on that's it. We're coming up on our outro, but to a lot of broken hearts out there, it might be feeling like, no, I'm never gonna find love again. I doubt it. I doubt, no matter who you are, I doubt you're not. I doubt that to state that you're never going to find love again. I don't think. Well, in my case, for my case, then that's true. So we ain't ever, we can't break up because we don't we don't talk about that. So there's no other cakes. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But in your case, don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up. You know what I'm saying? There's more out there for you. There's more out there in the world for you, experience wise. There's more out there in the world for you, personal relationship wise. Even if it's not an LDR, even if it's not a relationship, an intimate relationship, there's so much more to experience in life, y'all. We're all gonna. None of us are gonna win. A dude I like a guy I like to listen to sometimes. He once said that life is a movie that none of us are gonna see the sequel to, or like none of us are getting out alive, or something like. Life is a horror movie. None of us are getting out alive, or something like that. Like you only get one time to experience this, So don't give up when you feel that everything is come crashing down. Even in our relationship, it's not some Disney princess like uber perfect. Nothing. There's never been a challenge. We've had challenges too. Maybe we'll be willing to talk about those challenges sometime in the future. We'll see if we want to do that. But we didn't give up. That's what really matters, right? That's what really kept us together. Our commitment, our communication, and our trust in each other is what kept us together. And our perseverance. We didn't give up. So, yeah. With that said, if you have fallen in love in a DM or been ghosted in a time zone you couldn't pronounce, I think this episode was for you. And I hope you enjoy it. Baby, over to you.
If you got a long distance love story or a digital heartbreak, share it with us. We might read it live next week. Yeah.
That's right. And all right, next time on Ping Me Later, we're diving into phone sex, prayer, keeping it spicy and sacred. See y'all next time.